Thanks for being here. Today I have Harley Rivet. He is the president and founder of Deep Dish Digital on the show. So we're going to talk about digital marketing. That's your specialty. And I thought I'd first kick it off with why I invited you. I went through ChatGPT to help build some show notes, and it helped me with the title. It called it Chasing Results. So I liked it. I kept it. So I don't know if you remember this, but back in, I think it was like 12 years ago, you and Mike Klein did a thing down in the basement of the 220.
Yeah, workshop.
I think that might have been where I met you.
Yeah,
perhaps,
I think so.
Or through Mike somehow.
Yeah.
I had this little piece of content I just made. It was like some photos. If you remember or not, it doesn't matter. But it was just some fun music and some photos I took of the 220 people. And I remember using it as an example of a strong piece of content that was organic. And you talked about it. So organic media is nothing new for you. You've been doing this for over 20 years. Deep Dish Digital's 15 years old.
Yep.
And you co-founded the SPMA, which is the Saskatchewan Professional Marketing Association, where I also... See, I'm not sure if I met you at the 220 or at Fuse conference, because that was also the other thing you started.
Yeah.
It was Fuse.
We met at the 220. Yeah.
That was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Were you ever a tenant there?
I would just do drop-in passes, but I was never a tenant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is the 220. Okay, I was right. You've stayed very relevant. Like, you're still doing it. You're still working in the industry. And, you know, you and I both know, like, tons of people come and go. You know, they cycle through different companies, and then they end up being, you know, maybe a real estate agent or just, like, totally leave this industry. So it's definitely not a faint of heart type of job.
Yeah, it churns people out.
Yeah, yeah. Which I think part of the conversation today, I want to kind of explore that and maybe why you've had some staying power. What else did I write down here? You must have a clear sense of what works because you're still here, you're still doing it. And then I wanted to dig into sort of that still standing. You're still standing. This industry also has changed quite a lot.
Yeah.
You know, a lot's the same. But like the platforms have changed, the approach has changed, the way you make content, the way people explore the internet's even different. Like even 2 years ago to now, I heard like AI is now the place people search versus Google.
Starting to be. It's still a lot less than Google, but you know, it's like 10%, something like that.
Yeah, Google's primed to take over, like keep the AI space because they have that Google search. But yeah, like
it's always changing, and that can be exhausting. And I think that's why it churns so many people out. It's tough to keep up. So I try to focus on the fundamentals.
Okay, we're gonna dive into that. I have one of my questions is about fundamentals, but we'll go through some warm-up questions for you. So what do you love about the work you do? You've been doing it for 20 years, like I said. You graduated in 98 from the U of S with honors or distinction. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Marketing commerce degree.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell me, you've worked with Zoo, you worked with what was the other one you said?
iTrax. Graduated in 98 from commerce, and at that point I wanted to work, like technology was like really coming on then, like the web was coming on in 98, right? And like I remember my first time getting access to the web was at like a university computer lab and getting access to the internet, and I was just like, I was never a computer kid. Like I never even had a game console growing up. But when I got access to the internet and I saw all the information that was available to it, it was just like a light went on in my mind. It was like, this is going to change things. And so I made a point to either work in international business or in technology when I graduated university. And my first job was actually with an exporter of specialty crops, like lentils and certified organics and stuff, which I didn't really want to work in ag, but they were an exporter working in international markets, and I thought a website is perfect for these guys when I started with them. So like I pitched the idea of a website, and they were like, I'm not sure if we want to be spinning our wheels with a website. Is that really going to help? And so like I was like, this is where things are going. And so I built that website, and this is 98. Right, and so that website was a piece of crap. Like,
Geosites?
I hand coded it.
Did you?
I used it was a WordPress program, WordPress Dreamweaver or something. I forget. And it wasn't that great, but back in those days, you had to like manually submit your websites to search engines. Like I had to fill out an application to get listed on Google, and like Alta Vista and all the the browsers at the time that were popular. And
Yahoo.
so Yahoo
Wasn't Yahoo like the biggest
oh
one?
yeah,
at the
yeah,
time?
Yahoo and
Ask Jeeves if you remember that.
yeah, Ask Jeeves. And so I mean, Google was in its infancy then. Anyway. So I had to manually submit it, and I was listing it in foreign directories. And like, lo and behold, this website started being our biggest generator of leads for new business, like from the United Arab Emirates and Pakistan and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, this is where it's going.
Good on you for having that vision. Because that's like it's easy to be like, yeah, we need this now when it's already like a thing.
Yeah.
But when it's not the proven, like the fact they went from 0 websites to 1 website, and now it's like people make throwaway websites for campaigns, like, or landing pages.
Yeah. So it turned out to be a good fit, and I saw how it worked, and I was like, okay, I want to get into the web world, So that was my next move after that, and I worked for iTrax, which is like a software as a service company for doing market research.
They still around?
Yeah. Yeah, they're still in Saskatoon. They're located like downtown, kind of near Zoo.
Okay. Like I know the name, I just haven't.
Yeah, so they like program online surveys, and their main thing is like online focus groups, which is what like kind of the precursor to web conferencing software to do online focus groups, but it's very specialized for just doing market research focus groups. So most of our clients were in the U.S. because Canada is always like a few years behind adopting technology. So most of our clients were in the U.S. And so I was dealing with companies in New York and Los Angeles and Chicago.
And that was when the dollar was almost par.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
So that was back like from 2000 to 2006.
Okay.
I worked there. So it was really cool. It was a startup. So I got to travel all over North America. And I mean, since our clients were in the U.S. and we were a tech company, most of our marketing was tech-based. Like we were doing webinars back then and doing Google Ads back then. It wasn't called Google Ads. It was called Overture, something like that.
Did they buy?
Yeah.
Google's just, they just buy products and integrate them.
Yeah, just like Google Analytics. Google didn't make that. They bought that and rebranded it. So I basically kind of all I've ever done is digital marketing. Really.
So you've seen like the maturing of it, even going from like, we don't really need this to now it's like, you have to, and now it's, things are still changing. I'd love your insights on these, but yeah.
So iTrax and startup, I burnt out on that. And then I went to Zoo and web development company. All right. Now they're Saskatchewan's largest web development agency, user experience and all that. And I went with them through a really high growth period. And of course, again, web company doing digital marketing. So by the time 2010 rolled around, I just thought, I saw, like Zoo building websites for people, but, they could build a website, but they weren't providing the service of getting people to your website. And I saw a really big opportunity there because I saw just a lot of firms struggling with that, with spending a lot of money on a big website without any sort of strategy.
What's the most, you don't have to say who made this, but the most expensive single website?
That I worked on?
Yeah, ever.
I landed CN Rail for Zoo.
Wow.
Yeah, CN Rail. That was a really big win. And so that was the biggest website. And for the company, I think that was the biggest website they had been part of at that time. They were doing stuff for like Potash Corp and Cameco. Like those were their bread and butter at the time. And then just leveraged that experience to go after bigger clients. And that was like a watershed moment for the company, is when we got CN Rail. It was just like, yeah, you know what? We can play with the big dogs.
That's cool. Hey, I know Tony.
Yeah.
I guess his full name probably is Anthony, but I know Tony and Ryan. I've got to meet them as one of my clients. And they were, the forefront of that part of the market too, like the web design, and like they have the domain zoo.com, which is like 2 letters, which you can't get that anymore,
Yeah.
Like, what did you learn from them? That's kind of stuck with you. Like what do you think their magic was back in those early days.
Well, I think they had a punk rock attitude, like a lot of web developers in the early days, where it was like a new kind of frontier, right? And kind of Wild West in a way, where you're making up rules as you went. And they just went for it. And so they had this kind of, like I said, a punk rock attitude about do it yourself and find a way, and just always trying to find where the edge was to do new stuff. And so that was really appealing, and it was a fun company to work for. I mean, Tony was in bands, right? So he came from the kind of punk rock ethos naturally. And that it was fun. They had a really cool, fun culture. It was chaos at times, but yeah, they just always liked pushing into new things.
It's funny, them as a company, we won't talk about them too much more, but them as a company, just like the amount of tech companies and tech startups and even just web companies, like almost everybody has worked at Zoo.
Yeah.
Like they're almost an incubator for the city, for that scene in the city, which I find, and I asked how that works, like, how do you feel about that? And they're like, we've always had an open door policy where it's like, people go and then they come back, and then maybe they go and then maybe they come back. And I always really admired that idea of just how you approach even business, just, have good people, when they need to leave, they leave. And it's just an interesting thing. And then, there's lots of people like you, like Kat Renier from Coconut Software.
Yeah.
I think Dave from Rock and Bloom down the street here. Maybe Heather did too.
Heather was there too. And also, I think 7 Shifts.
Yeah.
Jordan, he was there for a bit too. Yeah. So yeah, there's been a number of companies that have kind of been from people who went through Zoo.
I feel like those days are as an entrepreneur myself, it's like when you have, like, it's stressful to have to figure it all out in that Wild West part of what you do. But it's also like no one's going to give you permission. This market's changing all the time of what people think they want or what they do want or what they think they need or what they actually do need. And kind of like I'm older now, and I'm like, I've seen a lot, and it's like, we don't know. We don't know all the answers. Like, will this work? Will this video you have us do be a miracle? No. And I don't believe in miracles either. It's like all those little things and a little bit of inertia, and you just kind of let things go. But we'll talk about, I feel like there's some missing pieces here, which we'll get to soon. Before we do that, I got a quick fire. This is a new segment.
Okay.
Just to learn a little bit about you. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Office or remote?
Remote.
Okay. So even when you were here, you were just like punch passing it.
Yeah.
I'm circling these as we go.
Yeah.
Coffee shop work vibes or dead quiet?
I like to work remote, but I always have music on, so I'll go with coffee shop work vibes.
Okay. The one thing about, if you go to like Prism downstairs for coffee, I don't know, you probably just, one of the harder things if you were going to actually work there would be everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And then everybody's coming in to say
hi. But so, good. I mean, I do like to be focused.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Get the actual work done.
Yeah.
Do you plan your week digitally or on paper?
Both, actually.
So do you have a notebook that's in a system?
Yeah, I always have like a quarterly to-do list of my main priorities on paper.
Always in front of you, you see it kind of every day.
Yeah. And then, of course, I have my reminders app on my Mac that I use a lot for daily things I need to do, and of course my calendar. But I have my main priorities always on paper.
They're just always there.
Always there.
Yeah. Don't need batteries to see them. I think there's something for that. Do you have a go-to digital tool that you can't live without? Maybe it's reminders, maybe it's something else.
Yeah. I guess I'd say reminders. Yeah, that's a good one now that I mentioned it.
Fun. Do you have a way you work with it? I read a book years ago called Getting Things Done.
Oh, okay.
And I always liked that style. I've switched to how we work to like a Kanban style, but do you use it in a certain way, or do you just literally just task list?
Task list basically. But I use it setting up so certain things might repeat and remind me like once a year. Like I got reminders set 5 years in advance for stuff that maybe there's a something source subscription coming due or something I need to do life wise. But yeah, it's primarily a task list.
Do you batch your work or jump between tasks? Maybe a better question is, how big's your work chunks? Like, do you?
Yeah, I'd say I'd batch things. Yeah, I like when I get into something, I get like focused on it. I can like not come up for air for like 2 or 3 hours if I'm like really working on something like a presentation or a strategy or something.
Get some flow.
Yeah.
Favorite type of notebook? Because you do like the paper, like moleskin, or do you have a particular kind?
Not a particular kind, just whatever feels right at Staples.
And do you keep them? Like
I usually do.
This is like you probably have a collection now of.
Yeah, of notebooks. Yeah, I like when I go and meet with clients and have meetings, like I always have the notebook that I'm taking notes in, as opposed to say typing in front of them.
Do you have a favorite size?
Usually like almost like size
6 by 9.
Yeah, like almost the size of a piece of paper, but usually a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite pen?
Well, usually it's whichever one's working.
Okay.
But I am particular about pens, like, because I'm left-handed. So, like, writing...
It has to dry.
It has to dry. It has to go smooth. So, yeah, the ink's got to be a quick dry.
My favorite's these Sharpie roller 0.5s.
Okay.
For notebooks.
Okay. I'll take note of that.
I like black. I don't know why. I like black pens.
I alternate between black and blue depending on my mood.
Are you a highlighter guy? Do you like?
Not much sometimes, but not much.
Okay. And one thing from photographing at zoo, Sharpies and Post-its. That's a thing.
Oh,
Do you ever do that?
They were just starting that process.
Yeah.
When I was leaving.
One part of your workflow that people would be surprised by.
One part of my workflow people would be surprised by.
You can pass if you want.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I try to take daily walks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just to kind of get your mind going.
Clear my mind, especially because like if you're working from home and home office, like you're not really getting out.
With headphones in on a podcast, or you kind of
I just have music playing on my computer.
Okay.
But yeah, I try to get out for daily walks for sure.
If you could remove one thing from your calendar forever, what would it be? It could be a type of thing or type of meeting or whatever.
I don't really like analytics reporting. Reporting on all the metrics and stats and numbers. I got into marketing because it was like the business degree with the least amount of math. I liked business and I liked creativity, and I was like, okay, marketing's a good intersection of those, and it doesn't have a whole lot of math. So I would say math's not my strong suit.
And then you got stuck with analytics as a digital services company.
Yeah. So I do it and I can do it, but yeah, it's my kind of one of my least favorite things.
All right. So we're going to dive into it. This is sort of the heart of why I wanted you here. We may ask them all. We may not have enough time. I don't know. But we'll go through. So what does your day-to-day routine look like, and how has it changed since you started? So let's talk since you were like, since you started Deep Dish specifically. Mm-hmm. So what that looks like, that was 2010. You made a note about, maybe I'm misremembering it. In your intake form, you said that you just started it like after that financial crisis.
Yeah, I did. Like 2008, the Great Recession went from like 2008 to 2009 at least, kind of leaked into 2010. And, it was a time when a lot of companies were pulling back and budgets were being cut. And I just saw that as an opportunity to offer a more efficient way of marketing and, positioning digital marketing as a more efficient way. Because at that time, online ads were still really competitively priced. And now today with all the competition, you see the cost of online advertising really going up. And results getting harder to come by because so many people are, so much budget is shifted to the digital space. Back then, it was still kind of like, I still think traditional was in the lead, but that's not the case anymore. So I saw an opportunity there for pushing digital as an efficient channel for marketing that could save you money.
Okay, so you're an entrepreneur, so you got to get clients. So like, how do you? Yeah, so that talk about that routine, like, maybe just paint a picture of a week or a month in 2010, 11 versus now.
Yeah, well, in the early days, I mean, I didn't have a lot of cash to market myself. I was a solopreneur, so I took the education route, where it's like I'll just present. I'll offer myself at luncheons and doing workshops, speaking for business associations. And that time I was, just offering it for free. And because, social media and the web was, really starting to take off at that time, what kind of, social media was coming online and digital marketing was starting to be more mainstream. So it was really topical, and people were trying to figure it out. So, I don't mind public speaking, and I was always in sales and marketing, so I was comfortable presenting. So that's the approach I took, was education. And I was always of the mindset that I wanted to make sure I was delivering people with value and knowledge. Like, it wasn't a sales pitch. It was never, ever a sales pitch. If they liked what I was saying, and they didn't have time to do it themselves, then they would come to me.
One of our biggest contracts ever, like lifetime business contracts, was from someone asking us to teach them how to do it. And I was like, yeah, I'll teach you exactly how we would do it. And then after they left, and then at the end, I was like, or you could just hire me to do it.
Yeah.
And then, and I was kind of saying it as a joke, but I was like, I'm trying to pack all my knowledge into, a morning of sharing. And then the next day they actually hired me on as a retainer.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, unreal. Like, just how, like, there was a sincerity, I think, from my side, similar to you, where you're like, you do hope they can get the results, because you understand, like, not everybody has budgets. I didn't even think they'd ever hire me. I was like, yeah, it'd be cool to see you get some results of this. And
exactly.
And then they hired us, and then their results from it, just like, it was funny. Like, we did like an ongoing content, retainer, you could call it, and we were making lots of videos and some photography for them. And then now they had something, they're a nonprofit, and they were able to now get people sponsoring the videos, and it was just another avenue for them to get some donations or whatever you want to call it, but commitments from large corporations like RBC. And I was like, this is interesting. And I don't know, I wish I could figure it out, like, how to even make that better for them, but like, it was cool to see, like, it became more valuable than even they thought it would be.
Yeah. So the education thing is the approach I took, and I just found it worked, and that's what led to me co-founding the Saskatchewan Professional Marketing Association. Also, it was a way to get me in front of my target market, but also because an association didn't exist for marketing professionals, and I knew from being in the industry that marketing departments are often a department of one at companies, or like maybe two. It's kind of a lonely department, and a lot of pressure gets put on you, and you don't have a lot of like-minded peers to bounce ideas around with.
Yeah.
So that was the impetus for the marketing association, is like, let's get these people together, because they don't have a lot of other people they can chat to at their companies.
Yeah. And that's before Reddit was big, and you could just feel like the online, like, YouTube only really went super watchable in like 2008, right? Like, it wasn't much you could like put your own content on very easily until.
Yeah. Is that
like
when they kind of started their whole
2007,
creator program? Yeah. But anyway, just networking with people in your community too. I wanted to form a community.
In that case, that was how you kind of grew clients.
Yeah, that's how I grew clients, was the whole education and speaking and forming the association. So really, that's the main way I've done it, and it's just been kind of referral based since then.
Interesting. I did an interview with this older fella. He founded this program. They were based off the U of S grounds. I think they were still independent. And he said, and it stuck with me, he's like, it's all about the people things. And he said, because they were selling seed oils and stuff around the world. And he was like, yeah, I would buy a plane ticket. And this is like in the 80s. He'd buy a plane ticket to Europe to meet with someone just for lunch, just to talk in person. And I was like, So I think that's still like, especially in a digital world, getting a little bit of like in person. Part of this podcast is like, it'll only ever be face to face. I'll never Zoom people in.
Yeah.
Because I like people, So
Yeah.
But well, I like that.
That was like when going to a couple conferences this year, you know.
Yeah, I saw you at Memo.
And reconnected at
I
Fuse.
saw you at Fuse, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, oh yeah, it was good to see Matt,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's what led to this.
You know, it did actually. You know what's funny about Fuse too? Just going there, every time I see people, RFPs come afterwards, almost every time.
Nice.
So RFP, if you didn't know, is request for proposal.
Well, I mean, you're doing that, the photography and videography for conferences like Fuse and Memo. That's like in-kind sponsorship, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's great. It's coming back to you. You're doing good things, and good things are coming back to you because you're being part of the community, and, you know, they see you're a sponsor. They see you're around doing that stuff. It's great awareness.
Yeah, I feel like simple marketing is like, if they even just knew me as a guy with a camera, could probably get me to retirement, you know? Like, I have bigger dreams than that, but like, there's something there to, like, you know, you're web guy, you know, someone doesn't even need to know your name or your website.
Yeah.
Or, you know, oh, Harley, he's the web guy. Okay, well, we'll ask him, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the photo booth thing you did at Fuse, that was really good. But I guess I wouldn't call it a photo booth, but you were doing headshots.
Yeah, that was the first time we've done something like that.
Yeah, and then, you know, you're taking really high quality photos and then simply asking if people post them on their LinkedIn or online that they give you a shout out.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, and we, like you said, like, marketing departments are often one or two people.
Yeah.
We do a huge amount of like C-suite or executive teams or boards or whatever. And just our headshots alone are like a significant part of our business. And yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, the executive, like, or the marketing director, if they have a great headshot, like, better than the leadership team, you know, they're
like, where'd you get that?
Yeah, exactly. That was a strategy.
Yeah.
So that's all intentional. Okay. So, and then routine as far as, you know, how you get your work done. You know, has that changed over the years? Is that, you made some systems? I know, like, you have your notebook, you have your reminders, you know, how do you kind of manage, and maybe even like building packages, how much time do you spend learning, you know, yourself, or?
Yeah. Well, I did a lot of learning in the early days and going to conferences and taking, you know, more courses and stuff. But like day to day, it's, you know, first thing is answering client emails. And then I try to get any major project work done early in the morning. Like they say, eat the frog, you know, get your hardest task out of the way first. And then I'll often kind of hit a dip mid-afternoon where I need that walk. And then I'll have a hard push towards like 4 or 5. All of a sudden I get another second wind. But like I'm just at my desk in front of my computer most of the day. I'm pretty disciplined. You know, like a lot of people say, oh, work from home. I couldn't do it. I'd be too distracted. I'd rather be working than vacuuming or sweeping or cleaning. I'm not really keen on, you know, home maintenance doesn't really get me going. I'd rather be creating.
So using work to procrastinate from home duties, probably a productive, you know, you're not giving up, you're giving up one thing you don't want to do for something that benefits you. So I like that. That's cool. You've seen a lot in 20 years. What's changed the most in how you approach strategy, and what does strategy actually mean to you? And this was a question I think is one of my questions. This one's the most important one for me to ask you. So in my mind, people throw around the phrase strategy a lot. Yeah. And for me, and I would love to know your definition of it and then how you approach it. So my definition would be how we approach work and how we aim for the growth or results. So that'd be kind of like how I see it, which it's not a dictionary definition. It's just kind of that's what I view it as. Like, you know, you're not just making a video, you're making it, you have all these layers of why you're doing it. But what's strategy mean to you? Well,
I think strategy is it's the umbrella under which your goals, objectives, and tactics are within. So strategy is the overall umbrella, and then you have your goals and objectives and tactics outlined within it, and it all kind of gets broader to narrower, right? So if you want to use the analogy, I don't like using military analogies, but it's just such an easy one to make. It's like, you know, the goal is to win the war, right? And then you have objectives. Well, we know we have a stronger artillery. So we're going to just pound them with our artillery, soften the beaches, and then we'll make our way forward and we'll hit these certain towns and establish, footholds there. And then the tactics will be, well, we're moving troops here and there and so forth. So it just kind of gets broader. Win the war, artillery, move the troops to certain towns.
What do you think? Okay, let's keep that analogy going. What level do you think people forget to look at? Like tactics, I find is, especially when we do photo video, it's kind of in that tactic realm.
I think a lot of people get hung up on tactics. Like they jump to tactics, right? It's really easy to jump to tactics first without stepping back and looking at the whole kind of big picture, and understanding whether those tactics are in alignment with your goals or your capabilities. If I have clients come to me and, say they want to do some sort of digital advertising campaign, Google Ads campaign. And I'm like, well, do you have tracking set up on your website? Or do we have a landing page destination to, put people to so they can convert? What's that landing page look like? Do you have someone that can build your landing page? So it's like kind of stepping back and evaluating whether they're equipped to do something, because they may just jump to tactics without it really tying into their overall goals or their overall capabilities.
Yeah, we need a video.
Yeah.
Like it's funny, like we need new photos. How much is a photo? Like what even is that question? You'd be surprised. Like I swear, like twice a week I get a phone call.
Yeah, oh yeah.
How much is a photo? I just need one photo. And I tell them the price. Usually it's like for a headshot, but
yeah.
Like, and how many photos do I get? I'm like, you said you needed one. How many photos do you want? Like, I'm being a little bit silly here. I'm obviously nice on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, or a video. I'm like, and often it's motivated by like their competitor has a video and they have lacked the insight to see all those other layers that are likely there. So it's not thoughtful. And I'm like, do you really need one? Like they're expensive. Like, do you have...
How are you going to use it? What are you going to use it for?
Yeah, where are you posting it?
Yeah.
Like, is this a banner on your website? Like, you just think you're going to make a 5-minute film and people are going to come watch it? Like, oh, you need to talk about the founders? Like, no one cares, just so you know. Like, it matters, but it's just like, not yet.
Yeah.
Like, we're not, like, there's different levels. Like, Apple advertises on a different level than, like, a small home cleaning company, especially if you're new. It's like, well, you got to let people know you actually exist.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about Apple or Starbucks or,
yeah.
So I find it funny. And then actually, you know what I find funny too? You go to conferences and they'll always bring up Apple, Starbucks. I'm probably forgetting a few good brands. Nike's another one. And, they'll make analogies or examples.
Yeah, it's not really relatable to the small and medium-sized business.
Yeah.
Though, like I often see, all these case studies on these big companies. It's like,
or Lululemon.
Yeah, 80% of business, I'm not sure if that's the right percentage, but most of business in Canada is small and medium-sized businesses, less than 100 employees.
Yeah.
So a lot of these case studies and examples, it's like...
Yeah, I saw the one. It was like, if Nike had a hotel, you already know what it would be like. And I'm like what? Who cares? Like, so what? So what? Like, and then they were talking about some other brand. You wouldn't know what their hotel would be like. And I'm like, so what? Like, they're not... Nike's like one of the biggest brands in the world. Like you can't compare these and then say that.
Yeah,
like,
they've been branding for 50 years.
Yeah, the only comparison you can make is like, well, if you have a world-class brand, people could make analogies to other industries. But anyway, I find it funny.
When I worked at Zoo, people would often be like, we'd ask them for, what websites do you want to use for inspiration? What websites inspire you? And it's like Apple always came up, right? We want to look like Apple. We want to look like Apple. Clean, simple, elegant. And no one ever said to us, I want a site that looks busy and cluttered. But as you get into website projects, so many websites become busy and cluttered because everyone wants to have a stake in it and say, oh, we need this on the homepage. We need this on the homepage. We need this on the homepage, right? And it's like you start from saying, oh, we want it simple, elegant, and uncluttered. And by the end of it, everyone's trying to shove everything they can into it. And it's like, it's less is more, right? You take away and you're able to focus on what's most important.
I have an analogy for that. I was thinking, okay, so when I'm doing like things like projects that are like a little bit like, like conferences are a good one. If I like the speaker, I'm going to listen, but, if I'm just waiting around or waiting for something to happen, I'll start writing notes and thoughts on my phone. And the one I made, this was maybe a week ago. It was about like, if you go on a date, you have to pick the outfit you want to wear. And you might have 4 or 5 different looks. Especially ladies probably have more than guys. Guys, it's probably like, do I wear the jacket with the jeans?
Which
or
of the
slacks?
2 shirts?
Yeah. Should I wear my black shirt or my other black shirt? It's like you have to pick the one outfit, right? And you have to pick one hairstyle. And then when it comes to like any type of page with content, it's like, hey, you need to pick one thing to say. Like we need to, how ridiculous would it be for someone to come on a date with all their clothes on?
Yeah, good point.
Like you are definitely trying to put your first foot forward, but you still have to curate that down into like a priority. Which I think then if you go look at that goal, what's the biggest? Sorry, I keep touching my plant. What's the biggest thing you could gain from? And like probably, I was listening to Alex Hermosi the other day, and he's in my feed. My algorithm knows I like him. And he was saying something like, you probably make most of your money off of like one thing you do. And so
the Pareto principle, like 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort.
Yeah. And then the more you do, like that Pareto principle, it's actually scaling. So if you have, it's like a square root or something. So if you have 1,000 people, it's actually like down to 2% or something like that. 1 million people, 0.5% of people make that difference. Like smaller teams, if you have 10 people, it'd be like 2 of them make it all. 100 people would be like 5 make it all. Anyway, so if you go from those goals, you pick how you want to look, what you want to talk about. We worked on a project last year, and I'm not even going to say who it is. Definitely, I'm not even going to give hints, but it was really important for this person to have. It was an independent, like an individual brand, and it was like they were so concerned that people knew everything about them, and I'm like, you don't need that. Like, we'll bury that somewhere else, but no one needs to know.
Yeah,
about your personal. Like your personal values will already show up in the way you give your service. So let's just talk about how you help people. And like it was interesting. It was like I had to do some therapy to like bring them back and then make them realize like, yeah, okay. And I use the analogy of working with me. I'm like, you don't care that I have 3 kids. Like maybe you do, but like there's a lot about me that you don't need to know because you don't even want to work with someone other than to help fulfill your own values. Like when you hire someone or someone hires you, it's for their own gain. Like they're not going to give you money because they like you. They're going to give it because they think they can get something out of it. They'll pick you because they like you if there's 2 equal options and they think you're nicer or something. But anyway, let's move on. I think that was good. I think your analogy of the military was spot on. Let's talk about trends. Now, you haven't, you've been here, you've got some staying power, so probably you've seen lots of trends. But what trends looked good on paper and didn't actually help clients?
Well, I think, coming back to, clients jumping to tactics a lot of the time before kind of taking a bigger, taking stock in the bigger picture is, everyone jumps at social media, and social media does not equal digital marketing. And so quite often you just see clients putting a disproportionate amount of effort into their social media without paying attention to the whole kind of framework for digital marketing, which is like your website and email and analytics and optimization and conversions and tracking. So like there's all of those things that are almost in all equal importance. So just the trend I saw was, social media, just because it's easy to do, it's easy to comprehend.
Easy.
Yeah, easy in quotations, because social media is not free. It takes a lot of time to do well. And it's also only really effective at certain things like awareness building, customer service, building loyalty with your existing community. Like those are the three main things I think social media is good at, effective at. But if you're trying to build your pipeline of leads and increase revenues, like social media is not your best tool.
Like value for time, which time is money.
Yeah, like rather than putting up that social media post, you should just call your client and ask how things are going, right? If sales is your goal, right? Like social media is a slow drip approach, and so I just think a lot of people like I said, they too much emphasis on social media. I think it has its place, but you have to look at things in the greater context of all those elements I mentioned about digital marketing, the website, the email, the analytics, the conversion tracking. And that's how I approach things. I don't like social media is probably the smallest thing I do. I don't manage social media for clients. I provide them guidance on their social strategy, like, who your target audience is, then here's the platforms you should be on. Here's the sort of content that you should be creating that aligns with your values and what your audience is interested in. Mm-hmm. But I don't actually do content creation, and I don't do social management.
It's funny because if you talk to like someone like you or even a graphic designer or something, and then like the amount of time for one post is basically the same as like half a landing page or something, mm-hmm. like at the quality you would want to do it at. I mean, maybe tell me if I'm wrong there, but like
it can take, you can really get bogged down in it. And it's like, you know what, you're going to post that and only 2% of your followers are going to see it.
Yeah.
Send an email. 90% of your list is going to see it. So that's something that I think clients kind of got tripped up on because it was just in the media. It was hyped up, right? And that's something the media does. The media hypes up everything. And I've always been a bit cynical, call it the Gen X in me. Born 1975. So I've always looked at things with a little bit of cynicism.
I liked your look at the camera. That's good. That's good.
I try to suss out the difference between what's hype and what's real.
Yeah.
So I look at things kind of critically, and I just don't take things at face value. It's like, oh, okay, this is kind of being hyped up as hot right now. So I'll try to do some research and find out, just how big is it? Like, how we mentioned, I don't know if we were rolling, but how ChatGPT was becoming the way people search on the internet now. And it is increasing. But as it stands right now, it's still about less than 10% of all searches. It's growing, but it's like Google's still pretty dominant. Mm-hmm. So I have clients coming to me and asking, what's my AI search strategy? And I'm like, well, let's just kind of keep what you're doing because still most of it is on, the main search engines, but we'll monitor and see where things are going because everyone's claiming to be an expert and AI has only been mainstream for the last 2 years. How much of an expert can you be?
And that's in our worlds. It's like our clients are. Well, we went to Memo, and the biggest takeaway I took from that conference was the AI guy. I'm forgetting his name. Was it Mark or
Mike? Yeah,
Schwartz or something. Mike.
Yeah,
Mike Schwartz was like, have ChatGPT interview you questions 1 by 1 or 2 by 2. And I was like, even I feel like I'm a pretty techie guy. I feel like I in my family circle, in my work circle, I work with people like you who know much more than me, or, we're kind of learning at similar paces, but then my familial circle, I'm definitely the expert.
Yeah.
And then I hear that you should have it interview you. And I'm like, no, I'm like, oh yeah, I am dumb. I don't know. I'm like, that was the one thing. I'm like, and then ever since we've been doing it, it's quite a bit better tool.
Don't get me wrong. I think AI is a useful tool to incorporate, and it's going to be bigger and bigger. But it's just, my point was hype, and a lot of things get hyped up, and you got to just kind of take it with a grain of salt. So, I just caution, clients, when you say trends that don't actually help clients. And the other thing is like lots of times, like a junior staff member will be put in charge of a company's digital marketing or social media just because they're good with computers. I see that fail or struggle because just because they're good with computers doesn't mean they're good with communications.
Yeah, like
social media is a PR job, right? Like it's used for crisis communications, it's used for customer service. That's, you put it out there and everyone can see it. So you need someone who's adept at communications.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, just don't entrust it to your junior staff because they're good with computers.
I remember, actually, okay, this reminded me of a story. It's kind of tangential, but one of my clients, she graduated from U of S with a commerce marketing degree, similar to you. And she said when she graduated, there was a big difference where websites were now, like, it was all the coder guys or girls getting marketing jobs because marketing was so involved, like intertwined with web. So it was kind of interesting, just like getting the tech person in the world or in the room to do the job because they know that side. But that yeah, it's just one side of it. And then how you talk, how you the PR side, like even I'm trying to learn as my own, like for my own business gain, like how do you write in a way that's good? How do you write hooks? How do you, I feel like if I just focused on email marketing and learned how to do that would probably be a good skill to develop just to grow my own company. But yeah, it's funny though. Yeah. The young person in the room, or I've seen it a lot where it's just like, the cousin or the nephew or
yeah.
I know a guy.
They're pretty handy with it. Yeah, well, let them do it. And you just end up getting a lot of crap posts or the wrong sort of interactions.
Well, and technically they posted, but it's like tactic, and then we're not like it's just the same way as like a camera is not just a button you press. Like technically speaking, that is part of it.
Yeah,
like, and that takes a picture, but like everything beforehand.
Yeah, like
why are you even doing it? It's like goal. Like, actually, you know what? You should tell me when you do strategy. Do you kind of always do you filter any idea or tactic from the top down? Like if you have a client, let's say I'm very tactics, even my brain. I'm still I still think in that world a lot. I have to try not to, but like, do you always like have a filter? Like, does that help the goal? Do we have the resources for this? Is this, what the Pareto principle we talked about? Like, is this, if we only have time for one thing, should it even be this?
I try to. I mean, it's just natural to want to jump to tactics because it's the easiest kind of tangible thing we should try this. But yeah, I try to get that top down, try to understand the why behind it and the capabilities to support it. Because otherwise it's going to fall flat. You're not going to get the results.
It's funny. We try to do it for ourselves, and we don't have enough time to even do it at the level we would want to.
Yeah.
We do an okay job. I'll say we do a 6 or 7 out of 10 to what we would want to do if we were doing it fully. And even that, it's like, let's say for our team, which you could put into billable hours, let's just put it at, it's like $175 or $200 an hour. If it would take, I think 16 hours a week from my team to do it to the job that I would want, like 8 to 16 of total like work hours. Cause like even here we're filming the podcast, Darcy had to help me set up. I'm in the room with you. I blocked off the morning, so I didn't book any other jobs. So like the cost is real, and it's, I don't know, what would that be a month if you had, 16 hours would be reasonable because we have, usually 2 people doing it. So 16 times 4 is what? I can't do math. 40, 64 hours.
Don't ask me. It's not my strong suit.
Times 200. Yeah, you're like at $3,200 just for like our own, and I like we have a team. Like
your own kind of brainstorming and thinking and strategizing about it. Yeah. And it's like when I say I approach things like strategically, I'm not writing a strategic plan or anything like for them, but I'm just kind of just looking at things from a higher level to make sure that everything's in alignment. I don't write a strategy for every client that wants to do a Google Ads campaign, but I make sure that Google Ads campaign is going to work, that we have the support in place for it to work, like getting back to the military model, right? Like you're not going to take the town unless you've hit them with artillery ahead of time. So, you just have those pieces in place. Yeah.
I like that. Um, maybe this. Well, we kind of answered that already. Where do you think most businesses waste their digital marketing energy today? Why don't we just just hit that on the head? You kind of talked about it a bit.
Where do I think they
could it be social media
it?
Or the tactics? Or
I think mistaking activity for achievement is a big one, where you busy work. You think you're doing stuff, you're posting stuff, but is it really moving the dial? I think a lot of energy gets wasted there. Like we were just talking about, the time that goes into a post if you want to make it look great. You could have set up a landing page and sent an email to all your clients. It's just mistaking activity for achievement. The other thing I see businesses wasting their digital marketing efforts on too is being too quick to change things or jump to new things before giving things time to work. Like marketing in general it's a slow drip approach. Like there's no silver bullet. Going viral is not a strategy. It takes consistent, focused efforts. And not one thing, like you said, you don't believe in
magic.
Magic.
Miracles.
Miracles, right? Yeah. Like no single thing is gonna like just pop. That's an anomaly, right? Like that's really lucky if that happens. But generally it's like
it's a plan for that's not a strategy.
Yeah.
Like you may as well just buy lottery tickets and hope.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, and I even experienced this when I worked for companies, right? They were like, we'll try this for a while. Then a month in, they're like, it's not working. It's like, well, we don't really know yet. Like we got to keep up with it. And until you have enough data to prove, okay, yeah, we got to adapt, adjust, or stop. So I think a lot of companies just pull the plug on things and jump to another thing real quick too often. And it's like, this is a slow drip approach and you got to be focused.
Do you think part of it is like emotional? Like people like, if you don't look at the data, all you have is your feelings. And then you're like, I don't feel it's working.
Yeah.
And maybe it is.
Yeah.
Or the other reverse would be, you think it is working, but it's not. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. So much of it's based on feeling.
Like, is that where the data
jerk.
Is that where the data
that's where the data helps, And I mean, that's what's great about digital marketing is you can dig into the data and see whether or not, right? But you got to get enough data to know, So that's when I like, say if I'm doing online advertising campaigns for clients, like pay-per-click campaigns, I'm like, you can't do anything for less than a month. A month is the bare minimum to gather any amount of useful data to know whether or not it's working or if we have to make adjustments. Like usually I say 3 months.
I feel like it's hard. Like you kind of need people to trust you to do that. And the other problem I think is like a lot of things promise results quickly. Like, I'm on Instagram and we have like a production company, like photo and video, and like the amount of coaches I see for helping lock in 6 figures every month. And I'm like, starting right away. And then they have their testimonials and
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but you're not sharing the whole picture. Probably these people with success are like, already had some success, right? They're nudged further and maybe they made a major jump or something, but yeah, like, I don't know. And then even social media marketing. Here's a better question. How do you measure intangible things like brand awareness? Because like a lot of what we do is like that first step of like, people just need to know you exist. And you do the thing, whatever your magic trick is.
Brand awareness is tough to measure. Like unless you have a huge market research budget to do like pre and post campaign surveys, right? Like if you did because I did market research at iTrax, it's like you would do a pre-survey amongst your target market if they're familiar with these brands. And then after the campaign, you would do it again and see if there was a lift in response, right? Most companies don't have the budget for that. So it's really tough to know if you have increased brand awareness. The easiest metric I would use is, do you see the traffic to your website increase as a result, right? Or are there more shares or mentions or likes, more so you're kind of tracking some of those things. But yeah, brand awareness is a tough one. And something I always come back to is a quote from Albert Einstein. especially when it comes to like digital marketing. It's really appropriate. And I'm going to paraphrase it, but he's like, not everything that matters can be measured, and not everything that can be measured matters.
I like that.
So, like when you get into digital marketing, a lot of, people are like, oh, it's so measurable. You can measure everything. Let's measure this. Let's measure that. Let's see. It's like, but what's really important?
Let's get the UTMs on all these clicks. And
yeah, it's just like you can drive yourself crazy with measuring every little thing, but it's like, what's most important to measure?
Yeah.
And then there's things you can't measure. Like the brand awareness or sentiment is really tough to measure, unless you're doing some sort of social listening where you're seeing like, or comments being made about our brand, negative or positive. You need a tool to track that, but it's tough. It's tough to measure. At the end of the day, it's going to be like, are you getting more inquiries? Are you getting more traffic to your website?
Is your revenue growing?
Yeah.
The thing you want to sell more of? Are you selling more of the thing?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. So I just, caution people that, not everything that matters can be measured.
There's a thing I tell some of my clients. So I'll give my own example here. I looked into my QuickBooks on how many unique customers I have. And so we've got 2 databases we incorporated. So we had to get a new database. But like I have under like 2,500 clients lifetime. So and a lot of
that's still quite a few.
Like maybe 2,000. We did a rough add to it. And it's like, how many of those are one-offs? I started photographing just weddings. Like I've never shot someone's second wedding, and I hope never to. I wouldn't be opposed, but it's funny because it's like, you don't need a lot of clients. And then so to be like, I need viral content. It's like, no, you actually just need the right piece in front of the right person at the right time when they have the right need to hire you. And like, it's for people to just step back and be like, oh yeah, like we have like 5 clients a month that are on retainer right now, 5 or 6. And it's like, that's so much of our revenue. So it's like we still do most of our works. Like the other half of our revenue is like one-off projects, like headshots.
Mm-hmm.
And people will come back for headshots every year, sometimes 3 years. Like it kind of depends, but it's funny. You don't need a lot of clients to make a business go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've chosen to be a solopreneur just because it doesn't take a lot to keep the lights on being solopreneur. And I don't do much for retainer clients, just because I do a lot of project-based work. Sometimes I've done retainer stuff, but it's more so because I'm just trying to I'm not trying to upsell my clients on anything. I'm just trying to do what's right for them. And I'm not going to pressure them to do something they don't really want to do. Like there's so many agencies or software providers where it's a subscription, right? Or it's like you're locked in. And we used to call it vendor lock. And it's like they lock you in and you felt like you're prisoner to this vendor. And it's like, I didn't want to do that to my clients. And I've kept things simple. Like if we get back to, what's my work process, what does my daily work look like? I've chosen not to grow my business into anything too big because I went through the startups. I went through the high growth company. It was fun, but it was exhausting. So it was just like, you know what? I just want to keep things simple and do what's best for my clients without having to feed the machine.
I hear you.
Right. And as you grow a business, it ends up being about feeding the machine.
And then even like you're talking back to the growth or strategy of it, it's like, what kind of lifestyle do you want as a business owner? Like for some reason, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
Like, if I say that, people will be like, yeah, I've heard that before. Like even some of the people I listen to say that. And I was like, that's stupid. It's like,
yeah,
no.
It's like everyone has their own definition of success.
Yeah, if you don't have that in your strategy, like growth for growth's sake, like, oh, that'll kill. I mean, and how many companies scale up and then kill themselves?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Growing is expensive.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks growing, more revenue. Well, your system's got to scale, your people got to scale. Like everything gets more expensive as you grow.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress, but
I like those tangents, by the way. I don't even know what the question was.
Where
they waste their energy.
Yeah, where they waste their energy. Somehow we got on that. Final point I want to make on that is I think in marketing, a lot of times people make changes because it's different, but not because it's better. It's just, I feel like we need a new website. I feel like we need to update this. I've been looking at it too long, right? We need a refresh. Emotions, right? And it's like you get a new marketing manager in, all of a sudden you get a new website because they got to put their fingerprint on it, right? And so it's like, but is it working? Right? Like, don't change for change's sake. And I mean, that comes back to, the theme is, how do you get results without chasing trends, right? How you can still, and it's about focusing on the fundamentals and focusing on what's working, rather than just, chasing what's next. Focus on what works.
I think that's where the title came from, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Chasing trends instead of results. Like, chase results. I think that's...
Yeah, exactly.
What's your process for turning ideas into actual results? Like, you got a bit of... As much of your secret as you feel like you want to share. You don't have to share any more than you want to, but...
Yeah. Well, there's no magic formula, really. It's just, number one, I'm selective with the clients I work with to make sure that we're in alignment, like both with what's possible with their budget and also a values alignment, that I'm interested in their business and I have a connection with them mentally, like I can get along with them. So that's where it starts, right? It's just making sure there's reasonable expectations and I'm going to get on with them. And then helping the client with their internal capabilities and making sure that the digital plumbing is in place, right? So that's like, instead of jumping to tactics without having the foundation built. So I make sure, okay, where are you at with your website? If we have to make changes to your website, can we do that? Or do I have to bring someone in? That's going to cost extra. Do we have the tracking in place? Do I need to come in and do a workshop with your staff so they know how to handle things once we get up and going? So making sure that there's the foundation there and the capabilities. So I assess that. And then finally, evaluating what they want to achieve and making sure it's focused on where we're going to get the most impact. Sometimes a client comes in saying they want to do this, but then I kind of dig into it and I'm like, well, maybe we should take a slightly different approach. It's like, I had a recent example is a client had recently been, in the past, been doing campaigns with Google Display, right? Those are all the banner ads you'd see like on different websites and stuff. Mm-hmm. And my previous experience with it was that it's just not that effective. You get a lot of bad placements with Google Display. Like sometimes you end up on kids' games and iPad apps and sites that aren't visited very much. And Google tells you you're getting impressions, but it's not great impressions, or it's not great clicks because it's kids hitting on a game where your ad pops up, right?
Waiting for the skip button, counter to go down to zero.
So they were like, we want to do it at Google Display. And I was like, well, let's just let me dig into that a bit and see if there's an alternative approach we can take to get you the results. And so ended up going with what's called a Google Demand Gen campaign, which is YouTube advertising, like pre-roll and in-stream stuff. And also Google Demand Gen is YouTube, Gmail, and Discover. And Discover is like if you use Google Chrome or Google Search on your phone, Discover is the first page that comes up that has like all of today's, like it's like a news feed, but then it also serves ads.
Okay.
So a Google Demand Gen campaign only uses Google properties, as opposed to a Google Display campaign, which is scattershot all over the internet using Google's display network. So anyway, and the results have been really good compared to what the Google Display campaign had done in the past. So that's where I've, assessed their situation, dug into things, and proposed something different. So I focus where the most impact is going to be and do my research. And sometimes I come back with an idea that's different than what the client wanted.
And do you feel like if you built enough rapport, they just, all right,
yeah,
Harley,
well, yeah,
we trust you.
Yeah. I mean, not always, but usually if there's that trust, they're coming to me for my expertise, right? And you hope you're working with someone who has expertise, because there's a lot of people that claim to but don't.
Well, if the people vendor hop from one person to another, they're going to be told different messaging, and that does, I mean, I hope I don't do this, but but like if they come to you and you're like, we're going to just pick what is best for the results you want, and start there.
Yeah, like I'm not going to oversell you on a bunch of extra stuff just because it's more billable hours for me. I like,
which I think is like a pitfall on like the machine. Like if you have an organization that's turned into a machine, like even a startup, it's like even us, like I had to photograph everything. And now part of growth, I think, is like having the ability to like make the same money, but working with more of the clients you like, or making the same revenue and doing more of the projects you like, not just, is the number higher than last year?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, you have to pay attention to the numbers, of course. And I mean, full credit to the people that are building and growing companies. I know it's a lot of work, and I know it takes a lot of dedication and headache and stress. Like, kudos. But it's just trying to balance that with your own values and what success means to you. To me, that's where I've prioritized. Working with clients that I feel like I'm genuinely helping. So if you do what's best for their clients, they'll take care of you.
Well, I mean, that's a master lesson in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Like I actually just this week, I did a photo shoot for a client. She's a financial advisor, but her husband runs a contracting company. He doesn't have a website, and yet he's busy as he wants to be. Like, and people are like, the only drawback is like, people are like, I can't even find you. Like, is this trustworthy? So all they have is the referral from the friend, but the power of that's so powerful. And then they meet him, and he's a lovely human being, and very capable. And so, but his portfolio is like photos he took on his phone, or his friend, people's friends going in their house, seeing what he did. He does contracting for like renovations and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was still, I find that like people undervalue the value of good work, good service. Like if you're just pumping out shit for people to buy, sorry, I just swore there. No, we're explicit.
Yeah.
If you're just pumping out shit for people to put their money towards, like it's so hard to get those dollars. And it's like, is that the game you want to play? Like, or would you rather help people get the results they're looking for?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I focus on that, helping people get the results they want. And the other thing that's part of my process with working with clients is working with those where you have a higher probability of helping. So it's a lot easier to go from a 4 to an 8 in terms of like a scale of 1 to 10 of getting them, improving them. So it's a lot easier to go from a 4 to an 8 than it is from an 8 to a 10. Like it's exponentially more difficult, right?
Diminishing returns.
Yeah. Like the curve of effort versus gain, right? So I like working with those clients where, it's more like what we do will have a bigger impact than trying to just squeak out some marginal gains. Because it's just, it's difficult. I mean, those clients, they're ambitious, and I respect them, but I just like, this is going to be tough to move the needle because you're already doing really good. So we can make some tweaks, but results might not be big leaps and bounds. So that's other.
Do you ever give
thing.
advice on that? Like, if they're already, like, let's say you're already doing a good job on marketing. After that, is it like, do you ever give advice into like, let's talk about your product line. Maybe let's simplify it, or maybe if you just added 10% to your price. Like if you're already getting lots of leads and you're fully booked, your price is probably not where it should be. Like, do you ever do that kind of strategy?
Occasionally I might have recommendations, but I don't usually get into their products
just kind of
too much. Like, yeah, I mean,
which I get, because like they're the expert in what they do.
Yeah, they're not coming to me to do product development and pricing strategy and stuff. So I mean, I may sometimes have some thoughts on it that I'll voice, but you know, it might be a case where it's just like if I notice they've got a crap product, I'm just like, well, it's not much more we can do, right? Like, it's tough to market a crap product. Like, look at yourself. Like, look inwards.
Your Google reviews are tanking.
Yeah, like marketing's not this, you know, fix-all, right? And quite often it gets blamed for everything. It's
or seen as the Band-Aid or medication.
Yeah, or seen as the Band-Aid. It's like chief marketing officers have the shortest tenure of any executive position at companies. It's true.
So you want to quit before it goes bad and move on?
Yeah, marketing managers they have the highest turnover rate of the executive suite.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like, not working. Let's try someone new, right? Like and again, it's about that, like, making changes, knee jerk based on emotion, and then it's like when things are going great, it's because they have a great product. When things are going bad, it's because marketing sucks.
I heard a good quote. It was take no credit, take no blame. Like don't think it's all this one thing that did it. Especially like great companies sometimes give credit to certain things for like the growth and success, and then it's almost better to like learn from mistakes from those kind of people because they probably take credit where they shouldn't. But when you make a mistake, it's easier to know where it came from. I mean, hopefully, but yeah, like
and like in business, there's so many moving parts about why it's working and why it's not. Yes, marketing's contributing. Yes, product's contributing. You sold a lot of umbrellas this quarter. Is it because your marketing was great or because it rained a lot?
Yeah.
Like there's tons of factors that happen.
It's funny. Yeah, any product probably has those pieces and then to connect those dots to where the causality is of people's choices. Like again, like you don't quite know. Like maybe if you sell homes, it's like the housing market's hot, or maybe you sell the umbrella one's great. You know, or like even with COVID and stuff, it's like all these like things or tariffs, let's say, like sure, like I don't know, like some so I still shoot weddings, and it's like some years we book a lot and some years we book less, and it's like I try not to like think of it too much. Like my emotional side's like, oh, this is the end. It went down from last year. Anytime it's like a little bit down, I'm emotionally like, is it? Okay, better. Hopefully they saved enough money. But it's like that's not even realistic because I've seen it, and like the rational part of me is like I've seen enough of these waves where we've had bumper years and then they go away, and then you have bumper years and you go away, and then the other part of it is like it's not like those years are all great. Like when you do that much, like when that's really good, you don't have time for the other types of work, so then those don't gain momentum. It's like I don't know. But calming those emotions, that's my Achilles heel.
It's especially being a business owner, man. You're going through it.
Yeah, I'm like, frick, I don't know if this will work. Even actually, we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago. So we started social media marketing for our clients, or as like an offering, about 10 months ago. And I was like, emotionally, I was like, oh, it's not working. We made this is a funny secret. We made a landing page, we made an ad spend, we made a bunch of content to get people to do this social media audit. No joke, like 8 people did it or 5 people did it. Like it was low. Like, and in the first months it was super low. But then the funnier thing was like, you look at it and like people would see that and then they would just jump to messaging me, just, can you do it? How much? So people just didn't want to go through that lead magnet or whatever. And I was like, okay, so it's still kind of working. It's just not working how I thought. And then I was like, oh, we don't have that many clients. And then I added up like, cause that's like a monthly thing. And I was like, oh, year to date or for a year, if everyone keeps on, oh, this is super significant. I was like, actually, this is probably the most successful like launch of anything I've ever done. And yet my emotional side was like, we got to grind harder or whatever. And I was like, it's just like, you know, look at the data, like look at the revenue, look at what's going on, try to make some changes there. Like obviously parts of it are working. We'll keep the lead magnet I call it a lead magnet. You probably have a better term for it.
That's a pretty common term. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have this page and it's just like talks about it and then book whatever. What did I call it? An audit. And then.
Yeah. So, you know, avoid the knee jerk stuff until you and, try to keep emotion out of it, but it's tough. We're human, right?
Let's move into some wrap-up questions. I got this one. So I thought this would be kind of fun. Call it What's in the Draft. So if you want to share something you've been working on, something that maybe you've been too busy to find time for, but something that maybe is coming up that you're excited about.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about something else.
Could be project, opinion, idea. Just hasn't gone live yet, or
well, I like something I've been thinking about, just like in the industry in general. I don't have any new projects on the go right now that I can talk about, but we're at a really interesting time in, I think, the digital marketing industry and space with the growth of AI, and right now with the economy and the uncertainty is it's a really transitionary period, I feel. And when I started Deep Dish in 2010, I was among the first agencies to specialize in digital marketing in Saskatchewan, right? There were web development firms and advertising firms, of course, but I was one among the first to be a digital specialist. Now there's like 20 agencies in Saskatoon alone, and I use agencies with quotations. There's been an explosion of digital marketing providers, right? And it's easy to get into, but it's tough to do well. The barriers to entry are low with all the different MarTech tools and with AI making things easier. So you just see a lot of people rushing into it as like a get rich quick kind of scheme. Everyone needs digital marketing. So it's kind of a scary time for businesses who are looking for reputable providers, because there's just a lot of agencies out there that claim to be offering digital marketing. So I see like there's going to be a shakeout. There's going to be a shakeout in the industry, because I think it's being saturated, and a lot of companies are taking digital marketing in-house because of AI and MarTech tools. So I see a lot of companies building their in-house capabilities. Whereas like before, when I started, or even, growing up in the industry, is those marketing departments were departments of one or two. And so now you actually see those marketing departments growing, or just the use of tools and AI being able to accomplish more internally. So I think there's going to be a shakeout. We're going to see a shift in the industry where digital marketing agencies, there's going to be, the ones that survive are going to be the ones that actually can offer deep expertise, or some sort of specialization. Yeah. So that's my prediction.
After we're done this episode, I got a referral for you. No, I don't know why I didn't think of it. But, yeah.
So anyway, that's something on my mind right now. Is like I've gone through a lot of like ups and downs in the industry, but this shift right now, I feel like, is one of the more significant ones that's affecting business. Yeah.
I have no doubt you'll weather the shakeup. What do you think? What are some fundamentals you think? I mean, maybe you already talked about it, but fundamentals that you think will help you weather that shakeup, where you'll see yourself, whether it's in the next 24 months or longer.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The tools and the tactics always change, but the principles of marketing remain. So I've always been one that focuses on fundamentals, and like coming back to the theme of like you mentioned to me in the email, you're not one to chase trends and hop on every new trend and now all of a sudden say I'm an AI expert or I'm an expert in whatever new tool is, because I've always just focused on the fundamentals. I follow things and make sure I'm keeping up to date and knowledgeable on things, but I always focus on the fundamentals. So let the dust settle before making any shift in direction. And I'm generally not worried what others are doing. That's the Gen X in me. It's like, I don't care what you're doing. I'm just going to focus on what I know is important and focus on fundamentals. So coming back to how do you weather this storm is keep focused on what's important rather than always chasing what's next.
I like that. Next part of the segment, steal this idea. What's a mindset, tool, or strategy you think more people should be using?
Pardon me. Again, I mentioned this already, is, not equating activity for achievement, like making sure what you're working on is actually focused on your goals and in alignment to get results. So don't mistake activity for achievement is one. I think I have some notes there on that. So also, focusing on what's most important. Marketing takes time. I already mentioned this. You got to resist the urge to switch things up just because it feels like you want to change.
New logo, new website.
New logo, yeah.
New slogan.
It's like, oh, is it broken? Unless it's broken, don't fix it. And also something I've used from the get-go is that whole education thing. Marketing through education is a mindset I've had where it's be informative and or entertaining. People don't subscribe.
That's what you shared with me 10 years ago in the basement, or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like entertainer and teach people. I think maybe there was another one.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing, entertain and or inform. If you can do both at the same time, great. But, people don't subscribe for the commercials. Right, like they don't follow your Facebook page for the commercials. They don't follow your podcast for the commercials or the sponsored messages, right? Yeah. People subscribe for the value they're going to get out of it, the value they're going to get from you. So I'm always, if I post something, I hope it's something of value that's going to deliver knowledge or entertainment to, who's ever watching. And I try to inject my own sense of humor into it. And that's another thing I like about being a solopreneur is I can just be myself. Mm-hmm. I never pretend to be anyone I'm not. And that's another thing about chasing trends and, trying to now I'm positioning myself as an AI expert. I was like, I'm not pretending to be anyone I'm not.
Yeah, that's very wise. I think especially when I started the fake it till you make it, there's enough customers out there. You don't have to. You can be fully you and it'll be better for you. Yeah. But tell me, are we going to see Harley doing, public talks or anything down the road? I haven't seen you doing them for, well, maybe I just haven't gotten the invite, but. Yeah. Well, I've still been doing them here and there. Yeah. COVID really put a damper on a lot of it, so you're not seeing as many anymore. But I'm doing a webinar next week for Tourism Saskatchewan. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a free webinar. If you want to attend, I can send you a link. But it's how to plan a social media campaign that works. Sounds like I need to go. I need to hear. It's kind of like a strategic framework for planning a social media campaign. So it's like so many companies just. If you're having a special event or a cause or a campaign, it's just like throw up some random post, right? But this gives you a framework for planning a social media campaign that's got the goals, the objectives, the tactics, and how it all ties together. All right. I'm going to go to that. We're going to watch it. I got to check my calendar, make sure I'm available. But we were thinking about doing public talks every 2 months or so. You think there's value in that? No, we were thinking literally just host it in the studio. I got Costco chairs at home I could bring, keep it to I got 30 of them, but, keep it to 10, 20 people. Yeah. Think there's value in that? Yeah, do people, for sure. Well, I mean, it's been a value of mine, right? Of marketing through education. And as long as you're delivering value, knowledge, information, entertainment, to the people attending, they're going to get something out of it. Then it's going to hopefully come back to you in business. And I think it's an underutilized tool for, Okay, so no, too many people are doing it already.
I just think it probably is underutilized.
People are like spending like what did I say, 16 hours a week? That's a lot of time where we could host something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I think I was doing, I used to do public speaking for free, and then I got doing it enough that I was able to charge for it. Right. So then I'm getting paid to market myself.
Did you find doing it taught you how to like get better at it? Like you started seeing feedback, or just the conversations you'd have having coffee after you were done, like help you tune it better?
Yeah.
And, like it was almost a skill by itself. Like you said, you had the sales skill, you were okay with speaking, you have a lot of experience as well to pull from. So did you find like doing it on a repetitive basis really develop that skill of yours to?
I think, repetition, helps you get better. And it's like you would reuse certain parts of presentations. Like there might be some kind of standard things you would have, and you'd find that, some things really work well and some things don't, like for an intro or a closer, right? Like it's almost kind of like a bit of a stand-up comedy bit. Like
you got bits.
I got some bits, right, that I can work into it. And it's like, I'm a huge stand-up comedy fan, so I watch a lot of stand-up comedy, and I pay attention to how they like just structure their things and how they might tell stories,
arc their jokes.
Yeah, and so
Dave Chappelle. Did you love him?
Oh yeah, he's great.
The way he can like finish this thing up and like tie it to some joke he made.
Yeah, a callback. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm like, I don't know.
So I think
in another life, that'd be a skill. I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah. So I think actually, presenters can learn a lot from stand-up comedians about how to present. So I kind of use that as inspiration. But yeah, get better with repetition. And I mean, I wouldn't say I'm exceptional, but I'm comfortable enough doing it.
You're so humble. Like, actually, I like it. Maybe that's part of the magic too. Just like, of like, stay in the course and just like, you're not, you're not overinflating yourself or your skill. You're just like, I've seen these things, they work. I think if we do this is like, this is where we should start. Let's go from 4 to 8.
Yeah.
You're not trying to you're not trying to get nine companies to go to 10.
Yeah.
Or 10 to 11.
Yeah.
Statistically.
If we can get to 10, hey, awesome.
Yeah.
But, just having reasonable expectations. Yeah. And I just, believe in being authentic and just being real.
That one's hard. And I think as you get older, I'm turning 40 next year. And I feel like I have 3 kids and like a family, and definitely I have an ego problem. Like I've worked on, like the early me was like very competitive. Like I was competitive because I was insecure, right?
Yeah. You're trying to establish yourself, right? Like you got to hustle and grind.
Yeah. And as I get older, it's like to give yourself the freedom to not feel like you have to compare or compete. I still do this. Like I'm still an emotional person. I think it's just maybe my nature, but like being aware of it at least helps me be like, note it and then move on and get a little more comfortable in my own skin. I am who I am. I'm only capable of what I'm capable of doing. I don't have to pretend. Like it's really easy to shit on people and like other, ideas, but like to put your skin in the game takes a bit of confidence, and you have to be okay being a bit vulnerable. And then I think that's probably where authenticity comes from, is just being like, hey, like even just owning your mistakes, where are we going to go from here? Oh, did something we do not work? Like in half the time I talk, even with our social media clients, like we just started it 10 months ago. And it's like, I jokingly tell them, I'm like, we're experimenting on you. Like we're learning this as much as you are. And likely the price we're charging them is appropriate to that.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're going to try this if it works. And if it doesn't work, I'll give you all your money back, or whatever it is, which gives them freedom and me freedom. And I don't know. Anything you want to leave people with?
Well, in terms of, digital marketing industry, it's a real balance of marketing skills and technical skills now. Like you kind of got to have both. And sometimes it's a bit unfair for marketers because they're expected to be like these unicorns that know how to do photography, know how to do videography, know how to be graphic designers, know how to be writers, know how to be web developers, know how to be advertisers.
I'm very mid at most of those.
Yeah, it's like there's so many expectations on it, but it's becoming a challenging position. But I really think having a grasp on the technical side and the communication side is important, but it's tough to be a jack of all trades. So you kind of got to pick a couple streams to excel at.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Let's close it there.
Okay.
We could talk forever, but maybe I'll just invite you on again. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. I think you have a lot of wisdom that I appreciate, and I think anyone who's listening is going to be very, very useful and refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
Just not chasing the trends, and I like the results side of it.
Yeah. Well, I started with nothing and still have most of it left.
So humble. If anyone's looking to work with Harley, you can connect with him through his website, deepdishdigital.com. You can easily Google it, or you can find him on LinkedIn. Is that a good place to find you?
Yeah, that's probably the best place. Yeah.
He's really good at getting to you because he's got a routine. So he'll put you on his notebook and make sure to get to you. So, okay, thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Matt.